WYMT Mountain News first at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, help for our neighbors in western Kentucky continues to pour in as many eastern Kentuckians pitch in and help. Aspire Appalachia is just one of the many organizations lending a hand. WYMT's Dakota Makers talked with a representative from the organization about how they are helping.
We need to figure out what we can do to help.
Aspire Appalachia quickly jumping in to help tornado victims in western Kentucky.
When I crossed the bridge heading toward the downtown area, I was just immediately hit with this overwhelming feeling of sadness.
Earlier this week, the organization took much-needed supplies to survivors, loading up a car full of baby formula, wipes, and diapers.
And beyond that, we actually had a box full of cards, and those cards included cards from local students and cards from local groups.
Saying they helped many survivors staying at state parks.
We also saw a lot of gratitude. We were able to see that at the fairground as we dropped those supplies off. We were able to see that when we helped with distributing toys.
Neighbors helping neighbors. Dakota Makers, WYMT Mountain News.
With help from donors, Aspire Appalachia also helped give away $10,000 worth of toys to kids in western Kentucky. Rare bourbon is up for auction by the barrel and by the bottle as one of the many efforts across the Commonwealth to raise money to support western Kentucky. The online auction site of the Kentucky Bourbon Benefit called for donations to help, and collectors and distillers responded with enthusiasm, offering rare and even one-of-a-kind bourbons to the cause. Many going for so much that auction organizers passed their goal of $1 million in bids in just 48 hours.
Distillers kept coming at us with these incredible offerings, like a 19-year-old barrel of Willet. I mean, that's unicorn juice, right? I mean, you don't find that anywhere.
With 8 hours to go on the last day of bidding, that barrel of Willet was topping $270,000, while a barrel of extra-aged Four Roses was exceeding $215,000. The auction ended last night, and a grand total raised for storm victims is still being calculated, but is more than $3 million so far. Breathitt County had its first Toys for Tots Christmas giveaway today. Patsy Clare saw her friend bring Toys for Tots to Leslie County and wanted to do the same thing for Breathitt County. While living through a pandemic is hard enough, Breathitt County has faced other challenges this year as well, like the historic flooding earlier this year. Patsy wanted to help families give their children a Christmas regardless of their circumstances.
I asked for 800 kids, you know, for the flood we had in March of this year and stuff. A lot of families, you know, are having a hard time recovering from that and that type of thing. So this is just a small thing that we can do, you know, to help make their Christmas just a little bit better.
Several community members came out to volunteer, including Santa Claus. Parents and kids full of excitement started lining up 30 minutes before the event even began. We'll have more on this tonight at 6.
It's the coldest day we've seen in a little bit, and the coldest night we'll see for a little bit indeed, as we head into the middle of Christmas week. I-64 at Moorhead had some clouds around earlier today. They didn't do too much in terms of keeping the sunshine at bay. You see, it's been a beautiful day out at Moorhead this afternoon. Downtown Whitesburg, few high clouds still there, but west-northwest winds, that's what's kept those temperatures struggling to hit the 40s. But a lot of us just now reaching those low 40s out there. 40 in Jackson, Prestonsburg, 41 Hazard, Somerset, and Williamsburg, and a little bit warmer into the Cumberland Valley, but still some 30s out there. Pikeville, Irvin right now, 38 and 39 respectively. There's what's left of that front, pushed on off to the east. Nothing to worry about in terms of any kind of rainfall really for the next 24 to most of the next 48 hours. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. You may not see the rain, but you will see the chill. We're down into the 20s overnight with northwest winds and clear skies, and those winds actually calming down, helping those temperatures tumble big time for tonight. Then they take a big turn in the other direction. I'll have the latest on what would appear to be what could be a top 5 warmest all-time Christmas coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. With the Omicron variant continuing to spread rapidly, the CDC reported more than 288,000 new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. on Monday, the second highest one-day total of the pandemic. President Biden announced a wide range of steps to slow the spread, including more testing. CBS's Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington.
People in Independence, Missouri lined up in their cars to get tested for COVID as cases surge nationwide.
I started getting a sore throat, so I thought, well, this would be a good idea.
In the New York area, more than 90% of cases are tied to the highly transmissible Omicron variant.
So we focus, obviously, every day on the COVID crisis, on the challenge of Omicron and how we overcome it. And we have a lot of tools to fight back.
To help with long lines at COVID testing sites, the Biden administration will distribute 500 million at-home COVID testing kits. They'll also send military help to overwhelmed hospitals. New CDC data shows the hospitalization rate among unvaccinated Americans climbed to 67.8 per 100,000, compared to only 3.9 among vaccinated Americans.
If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick.
And with just days until Christmas, there are concerns positive cases may cause airline labor shortages. Delta's CEO asked the CDC to reduce the recommended quarantine time from 10 days to 5 for those who are vaccinated.
We're actively examining those data now and doing some modeling analyses to assess that, and we anticipate that we'll have some updates soon.
The CDC says the best way to protect yourself this holiday season is to get vaccinated and boosted, and make sure those you are with are also vaccinated and boosted. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Almost 40% of the U.S. population is not vaccinated, and only 30% of eligible Americans are currently boosted. The fast-spreading Omicron coronavirus variant is causing a surge in the purchasing of at-home COVID tests. So much so that CVS Health and Walgreens are limiting how many a person can buy. In a statement yesterday, CVS said, quote, "To ensure equitable access to tests both in-store and digitally, we've added a limit of 6 test kits per purchase. Walgreens is just allowing 4. But Americans may soon be able to get free tests in the mail. Yesterday, the Biden administration announced the purchasing of 500 million at-home rapid tests to send to people. President Biden called together his supply chain task force to discuss progress in working through the number of cargo containers stuck in our nation's ports. Employees of major ports can be seen on duty at all times, working to clear up the bottlenecks blocking many store owners from getting what they need during the busiest time of the year. This week, the Biden administration is announcing $230 million in grant money for ports to upgrade their infrastructure, hopefully speeding up an already promising trend.
Port of Long Beach, since mid-October, the dwell times for those containers has dropped from 12 days to 5 days. That's 140% improvement. And in Los Angeles, from 9 days to 4 days, 125%.
One example of bottleneck prevention efforts can be seen at the port of Savannah, where they have created pop-up ports further inland to clear containers off of the docks, a model other ports may replicate in the near future. The Biden administration is extending a student loan moratorium that has allowed millions of Americans to put off debt payments during the pandemic. Payments on federal student loans will remain paused through May 1st. Interest rates will remain at 0% during that period, and debt collection efforts will be suspended. Those measures have been in place since early in the pandemic, but were set to expire January 31st. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Wednesday. The Dow closes up today more than 261 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Straight ahead, the holiday season is known as the most wonderful time of the year for many, but studies show unrealistic expectations are stressing out parents and kids.
And Santa may need to shed some of those layers here in about 48 to 72 hours. I'll have the very latest on our warm Christmas ahead.